I had things backwards just now. I guess I'm recording now. Guess you missed the fun. Alright, well, I have this bracket here that I mounted, and as the bolt was screwed in, it pressed up against my original bolt and forced the harmonic balancer off in my hand. And this is my harmonic balancer. And now we can look and see at the keyway. And I'll have to take a closer inspection on that. I think I remember my yellow mark was, my reference mark I had on there earlier was pointed down. I think I was like this. Yep. So I need to examine some stuff and see if there's something up with the keyway or not. Hang tight. Alright, so from my best judgment, it doesn't look like I sheared the keyway. You might be able to see a groove down inside there. There we go. And my keyway is, the way this was oriented, it was like this. There we go. And my keyway is in the crankshaft right here. And I'll zoom you in and let you see that. Hope I don't mess this up. Yeah. Right there's the keyway. Right there. It slides right up in that groove that I just showed you earlier. Right there it is. Now, being as this is all dirty and everything, this is your front seal on a 302 right here on the timing cover. And they just tap in. You can remove one from the front and install one. You see the orange color coming out? There's an orange ring. Yeah. So that piece right there is flexible and it mates to this area right here on the harmonic balancer. You can see a witness mark where it's always been rubbing. Oh. You can see the witness mark there, that silver. Because that plastic has just been riding there all these years and all these miles. So let me get my head around my next task here. Hang tight. I'll pause it and zoom. Let me see if I can zoom back in or out. I've got a few miscellaneous bolts I still have to take out. Let me get this. And that one. And again, I'll drop those in my timing cover in their respective holes. It's an awful sloppy hole for a bolt that small. Now, believe it or not, so the timing, when I mentioned front seal, That would be the front crankshaft seal, but the front oil pan seal is a separate gasket right here. It's in between your timing cover and your oil pan. And it resides, lives its life right in this groove here. Maybe you can see the groove, maybe not. Oops. Well, that's what gives you your circular, your radius seal on your timing chain cover. So there's technically two of them up front. There's the timing crankshaft seal or oil pan seal. Oil pan seal will come in a miscellaneous gasket set. Let's see, I got a coolant, a little bit of coolant dripping right here. I've also got a support bracket here that I've got to negotiate. I don't know why that's bent the way it is. Oh, I think I know why. It's because I got this accessory thing pulled over. Let's see what wrench we need to break that loose. Let's see if this one's it. Yep. That also goes into the side of the timing cover. There's a provision for it. The timing cover I'm using isn't exactly the same timing cover as what's on my vehicle. They carried this same timing cover up into like the mid-90s Ford Explorers when the 5.0 liter got changed over. And they started running that shit-tastic 4.6. The first couple of years of the 4.6 apparently wasn't too good of a run for Ford. So I'll take this bolt out and I'll put it in my old timing cover. Dang, what a long bolt for just a tiny little bracket. Over engineer much? That had an external tooth star washer on it too. Interesting. Alright. Again, that bolt is broken off into the engine block. I'll be dealing with that soon. Next task. Let's see. This is clear. I've got two bolts up top. I'm going to have to loosen up some oil pan bolts in order to lower the oil pan just a wee bit so the timing cover comes off easy and goes back on easy. I won't make you watch all that, but that's going to be a greasy, dirty job. I'm going to get into it though. I'm going to completely remove this bolt and this bolt. And let me look at my timing cover here. Let's see what it tells me. No, I got two bolts here and two there. So I got to take out this bolt and this bolt, this bolt and this bolt to start with out of the oil pan. All right. Let's see what we can come up with. see what size socket. That'll be that one. All right. God, you guys are bouncing around a lot. It's got to be... This video is going to suck. Alright, and I'll take... I need to find the socket for these guys back here. I don't know what this was. It's some sort of little plastic clip for something. I bet it's for this... Yeah, it was probably for this right here. I'll remediate that. I'll probably, this is for my low oil level sender, and it was probably hooked to this plastic clip and then attached to that to keep it from hanging low oil sending unit for the instrument cluster to tell me when I'm low on oil. Set that right here. And I know that's going to be a smaller socket. Let me go find that and I'll be right back. I'm a sucker for gimmick tools. Like I found this ratchet one day and I bought like 10 of them and gave them away at Christmas. That's how you reverse it. It's so easy. And this is F or R. So there we go. Yeah, that one's good and loose. And then this one. Yeah, I'll take these completely out and put them in my timing cover, and see how handy that becomes when you have a jig for tracking your hardware. These are two totally different pieces of hardware. They'll go anywhere in the oil pan, except for the very front two and the back two. But how do you track where it goes and what its purpose is? Because it's a double shank for a reason. So, and we found out it's to hold that clip so that clip could hold the low oil sending unit. So I'm going to put that over here. And I'll put this bigger headed bolt right there. Well, that's kind of stripped out. That needs repaired. Take this one out. I'm retarded. That was a tiny bolt. It needs to go in one of the tiny holes. Okay, it wasn't stripped. There we go. See, I just made just a brain fart mistake right there. a lot of this is just really easy work you can do yourself. You just got to keep your head screwed on straight and track all your parts and track your hardware and put everything back where it goes, and things should work out for you. I've almost got a fully loaded timing cover, but at the very tippy top of that timing cover, there's two little bolts back here that I've got to take out. Right here. And I've got to negotiate those. So I'm going to pause the video and see what I got to do to tackle that and touch this phone with 7 pounds of grease on my finger. Hang tight. So apparently, just to get to one stinking bolt over here, I gotta either make a choice of taking this entire accessory bracket off and pull everything to the left, which includes the alternator, tensioner pulley, and the smog pump, or I opt to disturb the thermostat housing, and then I can get to that bolt. I'm not real sure. It's gonna be much easier. It's just 2 bolts for the thermostat housing. I'll just disturb it. That'll be easier. It's less risk, I suppose. I'll just take off the T-stat housing right here. That bolt and this bolt. Hang tight. You know, a part of me wanted to move this whole accessory bracket over instead of disturbing my known good seal around the thermostat housing, but hey, if I can make it seal up good once, I guess I can do it twice. There's my thermostat. Yep. Drop a bolt. It's quite alright though. I'm going to set that right there. Now I can get to that second timing cover bolt pretty darned easy. There's my ratcheting 13 mil. Okay. See if I can take them out with my finger now. Yep. Okay. I'll put that with my timing cover. Double check the length on these. Yep, they're the same length. So what I'll do is I will drop these in the respective hole that they go in. There we go. Oops. So, by the way, hang on. So, yeah. Look at all that hardware that's in that timing cover. It's a lot of stuff to track. But just keeping a spare one around helped me out a lot. Alright, so I got these out and these out. I guess my next task is to drop the oil pan a little bit. Because that's all that remains in the way. Just staring and seeing if that's true or false, and I believe that's true. Does anybody know what the hell a smog pump is good for? Like some other purpose? I've never taken one apart on the inside. I don't know if it's an actual pump. I don't know what's in there. I haven't taken it apart. I don't know. Alright, let me dink around and see what I can do about lowering this oil pan. Just a wee bit. It's all we need. Because there's dowel pins, alignment pins that line this timing plate up to the engine block that gives you a positive reference on every single mounting hole, and without those alignment pins you won't have a good positive reference. By the way, I noticed this is a rubber gasket. That would have been factory. I wonder if there's a Ford part number on it somewhere. Seems like Ford would have been proud to put their little E7 whatever part number on this little flange right here. Alright, I'm probably going to get me a 1/4 inch drive ratchet. Just reach my arm back there and start busting them loose. And what I'm going to attempt to do is drop this oil pan in I don't know yet. I'm going to have to see which way it wants to drop. Whether the pan wants to take the gasket with it, or if the gasket wants to stay up on the engine block. We shall see. I would prefer the gasket to stick to the engine block, so what I'll probably do is take loose some bolts and then put a feeler gauge between the gasket and the oil pan to loosen the seal. A feeler gauge material. This might take a little while. I think I'm going to take the bolt all the way out and then start it back in about 2 threads. That's all the way out. And go to the next one. I think that's my best course of action. The reason being is if I drop the bolt all the way out and then screw it back in a couple of threads, when I pop my oil pan loose, it'll drop down. And then I'll have the wiggle room I need to get this front timing cover off and installed properly. There's a billion of them. Be right back. Well, that was no fun. Oof. So now that I got all the oil pan bolts loose, I'll put these front ones back in again because I want them to guide the gasket. I don't want the gasket to move. I'm going to wedge between the timing cover and the gasket. I'm going to basically break the seal, if there even is one, by taking this plastic tool that I made. It's just a thin piece of plastic. I'm going to go in between and work it loose as best I can. And I'll wash, rinse, and repeat and keep on doing that. It's going in there pretty far. I think I hit the bolt right there. Oh yeah, that's working out nice. Let me get to the other side. I'm probably going to bump you guys too much, but that's what I'm doing. I'm breaking the seal from here to here and from here to here. I'm leaving the oil pan bolts loose, but I haven't popped the pan loose yet. I'm trying to figure out if I even need to do that. What I need to do is be able to give the pan some give when I put the timing cover back on, because there's an alignment dowel on each side and it has to go on. If I don't do the oil pan loosening, the oil pan needs to give down a little bit in order to install this timing cover. And I want to make sure it has the pressure relieved off of the pan in order for me to fight that timing cover back on proper. Be right back. I'm actually getting in there pretty good. You can see the witness mark on the plastic here. See the discoloration difference? That's how deep I'm getting in there. So that's allowing me to separate the... I'm bumping you guys again. Separate the timing cover from this gasket. The purpose is to not have to, Jesus Christ, pull the motor to change the oil pan gasket or raise the motor up. Getting in there pretty darn good. I'm getting real close to prying the cover off now. Hang tight. Let's try a few gentle pry taps. I'm going to use the thermostat housing as my backer. I'm going to tap on the cover a little bit. There we go. Make sure I'm not damaging anything. That's moving. Let's see what we can use to leverage ourselves with. There's an old antique tool that we use to repair shoes. But this might be just what the doctor ordered. What we got here? That's an interesting spot. And what can we leverage over here? See. One thing we don't want to do is break our timing cover. I should put the damn car in neutral, in park. It's moving around a lot. There we go. Alright, I gotta wiggle this sucker loose somehow. Gotta find out where the gaps are and slip this in there. If I can do something right there with the pry bar. Right here. Do something. What is that? That's another thing. I wonder if they engineered this. Seems like I'm a lot looser on this side. I'm going to work on this a little bit. I'll be right back. I'm going to work this tool in around the front seal here. That might be jamming it up. Be back. Congratulations, everyone.